back.
Hello, Brain Candy Brainiac. This is episode 936.
936. I like that. All divisible by 3.
Just before we started, when we were doing the countdown, Sarah, you were saying like you had to go run up your steps and you're out of breath, and I'm like thinking about how the elevation, like it's a running joke in Denver and all that, mile high, but it's legit, and like my face is so dry. I don't know how you moisturize enough.
You really don't. You're just constantly bad, and you will age faster here.
That is terrible news.
There's something about the higher elevation that means you're going to age at a faster rate in Colorado than you would anywhere else. And how about this? I just recently was listening to an interview with this rock climber, and she was talking about how she was like, fun fact about elevation, when you go from high elevation to low, like in my mind, I've always said, oh, I'm going to crush it on the challenge if I were to ever go back, because I'm training at high elevation.
Yeah.
It's just like my normal life.
Yeah.
Guess how fast you lose your, I don't know, what all the the benefits of being at, guess how fast? Well, you need to have.
I guess I would have athletes train in high elevation, so I would think it would last months.
3 days. That's how long, and it takes 2 weeks to get back.
Well, so what are you saying about that?
I don't know. I think they do that.
Why are they training there then?
I mean, I would imagine that the benefits from training at high elevation don't go away that fast, but like your breathing, your respiratory, like how fast your body acclimates to that different elevation. So the benefits of course, your lung capacity and all that, and it's better for your heart at those higher elevations, and you can get to those different, probably like, I don't know, levels or whatever. And like training in lower oxygen is always going to improve performance over the long run, but it's very quick that the respiratory, or like the you're going to feel the effects.
Well, then I think your point remains then. If you trained at that, you would probably do better on a challenge, maybe still.
Yeah, I hope so. But that just when she said it takes 2 weeks to get back and 3 days to lose, so I was like,
it really takes the wind out of your lungs.
Absolutely, it does. I'm like, okay. It really is. If you don't use it, you lose it. That is the truth. I think you have to be maintaining.
Oh,
and I get in this where, haven't you ever noticed that when you just stop working out or something like that for a minute, and then it takes about 2 weeks to get back into the swing of things, even if you've been doing it, every day.
Right. That's why I can't take breaks, because I will just stop forever.
Right.
I'm that person. So I know myself.
So good on your fitness journey.
Know thyself.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sarah.
So good.
So do you remember a few episodes ago? I don't know what got into you. I don't remember what inspired it. But you were talking about, you were imagining what a brain candy flag would look like.
Oh, yes.
And Adam was editing that episode, and he was really loving your ideas. And so so in England, you know how like the royal family has like this, I don't know if it's a crown or some sort of insignia that they'll put on like what they use, and they give their like stamp of approval.
Yes.
So like, the tea that they buy or whatever, and then it has this emblem on it, and then it's seen as like legit. Yes. And Adam has decided that we do need a flag.
I love this.
And that the flag will be our way of saying we approve.
I love this. Stamp of approval. It gets the brain candy flag.
Yes. And it can be
our flag.
Products and stuff, but like not paid, just like we truly love
just
them.
like what we love.
And also things that are funny, like sloppity vaginas.
Absolutely.
Or
like we're raising a flag for libraries, public libraries.
Yeah, we are raising the brain candy flag for libraries.
Yes.
Exactly. You're such a quick study.
Listen, I get it. Okay, I get what we're doing. Because listen, when an idea is good, it's good, and I'm on board.
Yeah, and you and Adam are both very visual. I think it was because you were pointing out the color scheme and all this. I haven't even seen this flag yet.
Oh, I'm so excited.
I'm excited too. I hope we can give the flag to the flag.
I hope so too. And then we'll be like, ooh, I'm lowering the flag half-mast for this. Because I'm
Right.
sure there will be some disappointing things that we talk about in upcoming episodes as well. Because it's always like high highs, low lows over here with the
That's
information that
right.
we give you. Good news,
Yeah.
bad news,
We might have to drape that flag right over a coffin.
Right.
We might fly it at half mast. Depends on how
Right.
bad it is. We'll see.
Right. Like when we lose things like the Twinkie, we lower the flag.
Yes. So,
However, don't you remember the death of the Twinkie? Like we were
yeah, there was
like
some sort of
RIP.
problem.
People were saying goodbye, and the Twinkie is no longer going to be in production.
Yes.
I saw them at summer camp. So either
They are
I
still
saw really
around.
old ones, or that was a bunch of baloney.
Well, because what was the fear that some product that they use or?
I think that it was just that they were retiring the Twinkie.
Oh, that's interesting. So, do you think these are not legit? These are bootlegs.
Or they just
You know how
did
there's
that.
Swiss cake rolls and ho-hos?
Right, and they are different.
Yeah, is there a fake Twinkie?
These ones were branded, and they were new, and they had just been so I'm like, I thought we were.
Wow.
So
we
maybe that
fell
was a
for
big
it.
marketing ploy to get everybody.
It was probably a goddamn April Fool's joke, which I fucking
It probably was, and I hate that because the reality is there are tons of animal species that are going extinct, and nobody cares about those. Meanwhile, they're protesting the extinction of Twinkies or the possibility of the
Yeah,
extinction
we
of a
were so
Twinkie.
upset.
It's like people are so upset about that, and it always just reminds me of like when the McRib disappears and everybody's
Yeah.
like outraged. Like it's a sandwich, and it's
When's
not even
the
good.
last time? Have you ever had a Twinkie?
Oh, have I ever had a? I know I've had one, but
Okay.
it's years, and I can imagine them being delicious.
I bet you they aren't as good as we think they were.
Because sometimes food does that. There's the food in our heads that we had when we were younger, and we're like, "Ooh, this is going to be good." Kind of like watching a movie and you're like, "Ooh, this doesn't hold up," or whatever I was into then. My palate is a little more refined.
I'll never forget when I decided to take Lincoln as a toddler to Pizza Hut because I was like, wait till you get
Just wait.
sink your teeth into this pie.
Yeah.
And then he didn't like it, and I didn't really either. And I'm like, did
no.
it change or did I change?
Could be both. Could be both.
Little of both. Little of
Yes.
both.
Yes.
But I would say the last time I had a Twinkie was 19.
Oof. That's the
What do you
wrong
think?
number to start with.
92?
Okay.
Maybe something. I mean, when? Like,
Right.
it had to be middle
Right.
school. When am I doing that in adulthood?
Right. And my family was not one to buy those. We didn't have them in the house. So the
That was
only time I'm getting
contraband.
those, that was contraband. The only time I'm getting those is, you know how you weren't allowed to listen to like secular
Yeah,
stuff?
yeah,
It was
yeah,
like that. Like that was how it was in my house with, red dye number whatever. Or
But anyway, I don't want to try a Twinkie, but I almost think like, you know how we broke our shot sobriety?
yeah. Might as well.
Maybe we need to do that.
I'm fine with that.
See
I
if
thought
they're
I
as
was
good
going
as
to
we
hate
remember.
those nerd clusters or whatever. Nope, love them. I don't even
Yeah.
care what's in them. Those things are friggin' delicious.
What if you get hooked on Twinkies though? Like you take one bite and you're like, oh no.
I don't know if it would do the same thing for me because I have I still have the almond mom voice in my head. I still have the health food voice in my head.
Yeah, the
that,
shame.
That
The judgment and
the
scorn.
shame and I wish I didn't, but it is there. I think anybody who grew up with a parent in the 90s has a little bit of that. Mm-hmm. No matter what.
Yeah, unless they were poor.
Yeah, unless that. Well, let me run through what we're talking about today because we've got some fun things,
yes,
old
table
and new.
of content.
Little table of contents. We're going to talk about. Do we want to have a sound?
I was thinking about the soundboard, but whatever.
Just do a sound. Give me a
How
horn.
about-
Give me a.
How about
Yes, claps for Pac-Man. We're going to talk
Sorry,
a
I'll
little bit
stop,
about
I'll stop.
Pac-Man. No,
Pac-Man.
This is great. We're going to talk
Okay,
about
fine.
Pac-Man.
Love it.
The history of. We're going to talk maybe about. I would like to discuss the rise of AI friends and the use of ChatGPT for wellness checks and those kind of things.
Okay.
Yeah.
You mean like on other people?
No, like ChatGPT is now checking in with us in a weird
fuck
way
off.
because of new updates.
Let's do it. Let's dive right in, baby.
Yeah, let's dive right in. Let's
Or
talk
do you
about,
have an anecdote that you needed to share?
do I have an anecdote?
I don't want to
need
step
share?
on your personal stories. People love those.
No, you know why? Because I think a lot of the personal stories that I have will tie into these
Great.
stories here.
Okay.
So raising the flag for Pac-Man, turning 45.
45.
Were you a fan of? Yeah, 45. Believe it or not.
Wow.
Were you a fan of Pac-Man? Are you a Pac-Man fan?
Yeah, I don't know why you framed it as past tense. I still am.
Yes, right.
I love Pac-Man.
Well, and it makes sense because Pac-Man was designed to appeal to women and couples.
I
in
was
arcades.
afraid of what the word was going to be. Like fools.
Yeah,
or-
no.
Couples, did you say?
Yes, because it's often the two-player game. You know, they created those two-player games where they were in a lot of those arcades. I love those ones, and I love an arcade game where you could sit down.
Me too.
So you could sit down and play Pac-Man against your partner.
Yeah, and funnily enough, they had that at my Pizza Hut.
I thought maybe they would.
The table-like version.
Yes, that's the good
I
one.
love that one.
That is the good one. So
I
in
could
the
invest in one
article,
of
it was
those.
an article in BBC that was talking about how Pac-Man changed the world. And
What?
the
So I'm feeling like actually this is so
nostalgic.
special.
Yes,
Yeah.
okay, right? Because I
Changed the
agree.
world.
So this was real cute. There's this rumor that or this, I don't know, urban legend kind of thing, I guess, whatever, that Pac-Man was originally created or inspired by pizza. And so the person who was writing this article went and talked to the creator of Pac-Man.
Yeah.
And he said that is true, that he was eating a pizza, took one
And he
slice
saw
out and said, huh,
The shape.
that looks like something that
mouth.
would go around eating things.
I mean,
And basically, Pac-Man was the first gaming celebrity and shaped the future design and marketing of games. Pac-Man was also the first game that was really revolutionary in creating characters. Before that, you could think of like Pong and those
just
kind of Atari. They didn't really have
balls.
named characters, and they didn't have a storyline either. And Pac-Man was the first game
I
that
think
had a
this is so cool.
storyline.
Yeah.
And you know, you would beat a level, and then it would say like part 2, they meet, and then you meet Miss Pac-Man.
Yes.
I always liked that. So
Yes.
it was non-violent and, pun intended, digestible gameplay.
Right.
Yes.
It's true though, and this is the trouble when you are so sort of trailblazing and unique that everything is derivative from you. So then it doesn't, if you didn't know the genesis, then you don't realize the importance. It just
Right.
is lost on you because everything has come from that. That's how I feel about National Lampoon stuff. Where I watch it and I'm like, yeah, it's okay, but I don't know why everyone makes such a big deal about it. But if you were around when it came out, it was totally new. Now everything is like that.
A parody or like that.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's all
And it was
derivative from that.
Yeah, this was really the first time there were characters. I loved their name. That was like Inky, Pinky, Blinky, and then Clyde.
Were you with me when that was a question in trivia? Were you there? Oh no, you weren't. This was at a restaurant with my family. This was the question. And I was like, I didn't know they had names. I
Yeah.
had no idea. Inky, Pinky,
Blinky,
and Clyde.
and Clyde.
I would like some more info on that. I wish that guy would share that story too.
It's cute. Well, and here's another fun one. The original name for Pac-Man was Puck-Man in the U.S.
Okay.
But they changed it to Pac-Man because you can guess
The rhyming.
the easy vandalism that would happen when you have Puckman on the. It's
For
just
sure.
cross out one little bit of the P and it turns into.
I get it, but by that logic, you really would have thought that Dick's Sporting Goods would have gone a different direction.
Every time I see, this is funny because I grew up in Orange County in California where we didn't have Dick's, we had Chicks.
Oh.
Chick's Sporting Goods. And there was a whole rumor going around that Chicks and Dick's were somehow related. Like people said that they were a married couple that then split up and that which I don't think is true. But the same thing, I've heard the similar rumors for, what is it? What's the $2 Chuck?
Oh,
that wine?
Yeah.
That there's something about a divorce and keeping the wine at that
I think
price.
that's actually true.
Yeah, and I think around the time that that happened,
What?
these rumors started about this chicks and dicks sporting goods thing. I do not know what is real and what is not real, but that
Wow.
was the rumor that was going around when I
I've
was
never
in
even
high
heard of chicks.
school.
I thought you guys all had just sports chalet or whatever the heck.
Well, we had that too, but then we had chicks sporting, and then when I came to Colorado, or maybe it was they put a Dick's in our area, and I just I thought it was the funniest thing I'd ever heard. I'm like, you got to be kidding me with it. They're trolling us,
Yeah.
right? This is insane.
Right.
How is this allowed?
And yet
But I get it.
pucks seem too close to home. I mean, they were just saying it with dicks.
Right. Dick's
They
sporting
should have
goods.
just called it fucks. Fucks and dicks and chicks and it's crazy.
Oh, that is funny. But I guess since Dick is a real name,
Yeah, I guess.
we'll allow it.
I
But
guess. Okay, but so Pac-Man, was that sort of independent or did it fall under the like Nintendo?
oh no, I think that's a good
Atari.
question. I don't have that in my notes, but I feel like it was its own separate thing.
I know that there was a Pac-Man Atari cartridge, but like maybe I don't know that it was Atari branded.
No.
What is it? Independent.
Yeah. That it was developed by Bandai Namco Entertainment, and Atari acquired the rights to produce home
Yeah, like
versions of the
licensing.
arcade, including Pac-Man for a limited time. But Pac-Man was originally created and is owned by Namco.
Yes, Namco. That's the word I was looking for.
Yes.
But yeah, okay.
Just licensing agreement. They own their own thing.
Wonder what do you think that guy's doing now? He's just like resting on his laurels.
I think so.
He had like one great
He was
idea.
like the guy interviewed for the article, and he seems
Yeah.
like just like a chill guy.
It's
And
funny because usually that's like the beginning of then an empire, but he was just like, no, I'm good. I'm going to keep eating pizza.
yeah, and I believe it said something like $14 billion industry that it grew into.
Good Lord. Yeah.
That it was
wow.
huge after all. I mean, it's been around since the 70s or 80s.
As a gal who loves video games, are you somebody who's not going to ever go for these sort of simple ones like that?
No, I love it.
You do.
I think there's a beauty in the simplicity of
Mhm.
the games. Like I think one of my favorites of all time is Tetris.
I mean, my all-time fave.
All-time favorite.
Mm-hmm.
It's so
I never
fun.
get sick of it.
I never get sick of it. The only thing that bothers me about too much Tetris is when you stop playing and then you look at a tile floor and everything in the tile floor is a Tetris
Yeah.
shape,
Yeah.
and your mind just can't stop putting things together in that. I mean, just me?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's just
Yeah,
me.
no. Yeah. You get in that mind space.
Yeah. But I think it's really interesting, like you said, that there's something about these games that really do shape culture, pop culture, entertainment, and we really, I don't know, we it's fun to go back and look at the history and see these origins of things like a storyline.
That's
in a
right. I
game.
think that that's a very interesting idea because why would you even do that? But it did make a difference.
And you did want to get to part 2, and there was something about seeing them, like the idea of Mr. Pac-Man and Miss Pac-Man getting together, and then they it seems like the ghosts. I'm like, were the ghosts their babies?
I
Were the
know.
ghosts what they
yeah,
eat?
they were frenemies, it seemed like.
Yeah, and the colors are great. The little cherries, like anything.
So
Yeah.
stressful, like when it would go real fast.
Oh my gosh! And the noise. I know anybody listening can hear the sound right now. The bloom 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 bloom. Like there's a noise that it would make when the anxiety would go up and
Yeah.
up and up and up.
Yeah.
And we just go into that panic mode. And then I loved when he would lose and it would go blue, 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 and like spin.
Yes. It was
I
always
like
so
that.
sad.
So
But,
fun.
just start over.
Yeah.
I'll tell you
Yeah.
what's not sad, and that's Hungry Root, and that's because it's making my life so easy, especially, my God, we're in that mode right before school starts.
Yes.
We have been so in a totally different mode in the summer. It's
Yeah.
like there's really no bedtime, whatevs, anything goes.
Structure gets a little loosey goosey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's okay, but now we got to get back on the horse, and I don't want to have to deal with any of it. So Hungry Root is great because it's sort of this hybrid between grocery shopping and meal delivery. And it comes to your door and you get all this stuff to pack your pantry and your fridge. And you can make meals out of it, or you can just like do piecemeal. And
It's so great.
you can customize it if you don't want meat, if you don't want high fructose corn syrup, if you don't want certain oils.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so easy and so fun and tasty to try all the different
So
options.
Good. So good.
And they have snacks and desserts and all that too. Take advantage of their exclusive offer. For a limited time, you get 40% off your first box plus a free item in every box for life. Go to hungryroot.com/braincandy and use code braincandy. That's hungryroot.com/braincandy, code braincandy to get 40% off your first box and a free item of your choice for life. hungryroot.com/braincandy, code braincandy.
Yes. All right. So let's move from old technology to new. I want to talk about this article that I read in Vice that was on AI wellness checks. So this article was talking about this rise of AI friends, and I use friends in quotation marks because they're not real friends, obviously.
They are not.
And we are seeing this I don't even want to call it a shift. It's more like a trend, I guess, of people using ChatGPT for emotional check-ins instead of going to friends or
I'm
therapists.
sorry, but it just is.
It's terrible.
I judge.
And so now, because it's really dangerous, there was something.
Yes.
It's really dangerous. There was some article that I read.
Like the worst part of it.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, tell you
the
go.
Psychosis.
Yes.
You're not dealing with a neutral thing.
Right.
This is a thing that has been designed and programmed to do certain things to make you continue using it.
Right.
And to they did this update that was then validating to the user.
Yep.
So it would kept telling people they were fucking awesome all day long.
Like
and then people lost their marbles.
Yeah, and people are testing it by entering like information. Like say you are, what did they use? It was like some famous like murder case where this husband like murders his wife for whatever reason. And so they entered like the husband's words or whatever he said when he was like pleading guilty or not guilty, I can't remember, into this Chat GPT or AI. And the AI was like, basically said, well, maybe your wife deserved it.
That's insane.
I mean, it used more language than that, but I can understand how coming home and seeing your wife with somebody else would push you to those kind of extremes.
Oh, I saw that.
It makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yes, and it was sort of like, hey, you shouldn't have done that, but I can see why it happened.
Yes, which
we all have our
is
moments.
very, very creepy. And I think more than just validating bad behavior and siding with the person at all times, I think it really raises a lot of questions about loneliness, about parasocial relationships, and I don't know, this like decline of human to human contact.
Yeah. I mean,
this
this isn't a great example, but like, when I go to a concert, I always engage people, and it's always weird at first because people are not accustomed to it. Like, if I out of nowhere start talking to someone, it is unsettling to some people at first, and I almost think they're suspicious.
Okay. I totally know what you're talking about, and I didn't read this and think, oh, this is I should always just save every single article I read because somehow it'll come up on here.
I know.
So I read this article, and I can't remember where I read this. I want to say it was in like this late 70s. There was this social experiment that was done in a classroom where this student came into class every day in a bag, in a zipped black like sack. Have you seen this or heard about this? I had never heard about it either. So, and what happened, like the student's reaction to it is kind of similar. Like at first it was met with like, you're different, so I'm afraid of you, and I'm scared of you. And then there was some curiosity about it.
Yeah.
And then it became almost this novelty thing. And then people accepted it and and it became like this fun thing that was part of their experience in the college classroom, but they used this experiment to show that like out group or other, like our reaction a social reaction to the other, this thing that's very different and new or off-putting. And the way that this article read was very similar to what you were describing, where here you are showing up in this very different way that people are not accustomed to. And at first they're a little it's a little off-putting, and they're a little bit like taken back, like, oh, what's going on here? And
Yes.
then it develops into, okay, I have a curiosity. Well, why is this person so interested in talking to me like this? And then now I saw it happen myself in real time when you engaged this woman. Shout out to Diane.
Shout out to
Engaged this woman at the concert in this conversation. And first she was like, what are you talking
They're
to me
looking for a way to get out of it.
Yes. And
Yeah.
then you started talking to her. She had studied music theory. It had so much to say. And then, you guys got to know each other. And then later we see her at the concert, and there's this, oh my gosh, there's my friend. This moment
my
of like
friend.
connection
Yeah.
that I saw and got to witness that
Yeah.
wouldn't have happened in the first few if you had abandoned that conversation in the first 2 minutes, but
Yeah.
was able to happen because you guys went through that process
Yeah,
together.
like basically once I can convince them one way or the other that it's not a trick,
Right.
and that I really do want to know the answers, then I think people are really into it mostly. Sometimes not. And who knows why. They just aren't. But that happens sometimes. But I would say almost always people are glad that it happened. And I'm just saying that these fucking machines,
Right. They can't.
they have a different agenda. And guess what? It is a
Yep.
trick.
It is a trick.
And it's about the profitability of that company. It is not about
Yeah.
you.
Right.
And your
they want you
soul.
to use it more. When something like that is designed to complement or affirm or emotionally support you, we're not going to be getting the truth out of it. We're not going to be getting a realistic response, and it's hard to gauge whether that would be like the way that AI would respond would be the same as how a person would respond.
Yeah.
It's
If
'cause
it's working
not.
correctly, I suppose, yeah. Right?
Yeah.
Like if it's doing what it should.
Then
Sometimes they don't, but
But I also think that like a real friend, okay, when we think about people using it as a form of therapy, Chat GPT is going to maybe stroke your ego and not be as, not hold people accountable in the same way that I think is very beneficial that a therapist can often do.
well,
We don't do it in a harsh way. We do it in a very like therapeutic, caring way that's for the purpose of that client's growth.
Mhm.
But I'm a bad therapist if I would be a bad therapist if I just yes-anded all my clients and
Well,
agreed
there's
with them.
plenty of them too, and I don't know how to weed those guys out because
waste
a
of
good
time.
therapist doesn't do that.
No,
If you leave every session being like, I'm fucking great and I'm always right, you probably have a bad therapist.
right. The good therapist is going to make you, challenge yourself because that's what you're paying them for.
Mm-hmm.
To identify what behaviors need to be changed or how your actions may be impacting others. And if you're not getting realistic feedback, or you're getting something that's just like, I don't know, what's the word, like placating, like,
Yeah.
then you won't be motivated to change your behavior.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't care what ChatGPT says to you if the people around you are saying you're a dick and you should change your behavior,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
Have
Especially if
fun
it's
with your
everyone.
parasocial relationship and your just like relationship with your AI, because that's all you're going to have if you just listen to that all the time.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's why you were speaking about how you want therapy to be available to everyone, right?
do.
And so there's this sense of like, okay, well, if someone is broke,
Right.
it's nice if they can have some option for help.
Right.
But not if it's going to be some program that has been told to tell you you're fucking right all the time. I think that's more harmful than therapeutic. Almost always.
I think it all it really matters how you word things and how you talk to and what you use AI for in that sense, like because if you can integrate it into the work that you do, like I think
Yeah.
it would be very helpful to ask ChatGPT, I'm feeling really anxious. What are 5 useful tools to help me manage my
Yes.
anxiety in the moment?
100%. Great.
Use that because
Practical tools.
practical tools because I've got a set of little anxiety cards that serve the same purpose that are like, here are these little cards that tell you, how to manage some feelings or what are 5 things I see, that kind of stuff. But to get real feedback on emotions and things that are so like nuanced,
Personal too.
And personal?
it's specific to your story.
and you need the whole story, you need to understand some background, and I don't know. And I hear a lot of these companies that are helping therapists like write notes now where the session will be, I think we were talking about this, the session will be recorded.
Yeah, my therapist, yeah.
And then I think, is this to make a therapist AI? That they're just
redundant.
like listening
Right.
to the results and like what the responses sound like to then
Yes.
create some sort of AI that responds in some, I don't
It's
know.
not doing that.
Right.
Right?
And yeah, right, exactly. I think it's good for practical tools, but because we say what am I looking to get out of it? Like I think a lot of people are using AI to ask things like to say things like, write me a text that says I'm proud of you, or like tell me about myself. That is a replacement for human contact. We say, what are you looking to achieve with that? You want to have a text that says I'm proud of you. Why? Well, because it feels good to have external validation or confirmation that someone is proud of me.
People want
Why?
ChatGPT to tell them.
Yes.
Oh.
That is what this article talked about. That people are using it to ask questions
That's the dumbest
like,
ass thing. If
tell
you're doing
me
that,
why you're
a
proud of me.
fucking idiot.
This
I'll tell you why I'm
replacement-
not proud of you. I'm ashamed of you. And the reason is because that's the dumbest thing I ever heard, and you know it. If you're doing that, you already know.
Yeah, it's like they're texting AI because they don't feel safe being vulnerable in real life. But the reality
Get a hold
is
of yourself.
nobody feels okay being vulnerable when we first start being vulnerable. That we can't. It's an exchange, right? You're vulnerable. You are vulnerable, and I had an old therapist who used to describe it as like cracking open your chest and laying out all the stuff, and that is a messy, uncomfortable, hard process. It's embarrassing. And then what happens is like that gives other people permission to like see all of your mess and then crack open theirs at chest and like lay out all of that emotion too. So you could say, I see yours and you see mine. But there's no vulnerable exchange with AI where AI is not cracking its chest open and showing you anything so it's shallow. It's superficial.
First, I have something to say. I'm so
Yes.
sorry because I'm changing the subject because I
please do.
just noticed
Yeah.
while I was away, someone, Adam,
What?
gave my plant a big haircut.
Oh.
And I bet you any money he did it because he was watching these fucking videos and was like getting annoyed at all the leaves everywhere. It was probably too messy. Adam, is that what happened?
Your plant got a haircut. Remember,
I mean, it
haircut,
looks
not
really nice,
amputation.
actually.
Haircut, not amputation. That's
It
what I
looks
always
okay.
tell myself.
Yes.
That sometimes you need to trim them back in order, like basil especially. A lot of my trailing plants.
Yeah, we clip up.
You gotta clip it back, and sometimes it's like, oh!
It just feels a little shocking when I was away
is.
and it happened, you know?
I'm sorry, Suze.
I'll wrap myself in my cozy earth blanket, though, to cope because that's something that ChatGPT cannot replicate.
Oh my gosh, let me tell you,
coziness.
after being away at camp and sleeping on an air mattress and in a tent and in a sleeping bag for
Nightmare.
7 days,
Yes.
coming home to those cozy earth sheets.
Hello.
Oh my
Lap of
God.
luxury.
It feels so good on my skin.
Yeah, it does. It's so silky. In fact, this is a true story. You're going to think I'm lying, but it's true. Lincoln has taken to wrapping himself just around the house and it's not even just like a top sheet, like a regular sheet. It's fitted. So it's got like the bands on the edges and he's wrapped up in it. And he's like, I just can't believe sheets can be this soft. That's
I love
his
it.
tagline.
That is so great.
Cozy Earth, you can steal it. I just didn't know sheets could be this soft.
Out of the mouths of babes.
Yeah, and it's true because they are temperature regulating, so you're nice and cool.
You will be cooler in these.
Right, because we don't have air conditioning, don't forget.
That's right.
So he's wrapping himself in it because it's actually cooling him off.
Love it.
In my nightmare home. But they have jammies. They have blankets. They have everything. Socks. They have a 100-night sleep trial for their bedding.
Yes.
And a 10-year warranty.
What more do you want?
What more do you want? Head to cozyearth.com. Use our code BRAINCANDY for 40% off. If you see that post-purchase survey, make sure to let them know you heard about Cozy Earth right here on the Brain Candy Podcast. Because your bed should be more than a place of sleep. It should be your happy place, and it is. Cozy Earth makes that possible.
Yes.
So there you go.
Yes. So just to summarize with the AI stuff, or just to, I think maybe I'm not summarizing. Maybe I do want to talk more about it, but I know the answer and I have my ideas, but I want to hear from you. Why do you think asking a human for emotional support is so scary for us?
Oh. I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
Well, at least in my experience, sometimes I have done that. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times, and not gotten it.
Okay. So is it like rejection or disappointment?
It's so much worse to ask to be vulnerable and then either be rejected or sort of it just doesn't get absorbed and sort of acknowledged.
Yeah.
It's worse than not saying anything.
And sometimes that vulnerability is taken. I'm thinking of another thing that I wanted to talk to you about. I don't know if I mentioned this in the table of contents, but I just started watching the new season of Shiny Happy People. It's on Amazon Prime. So the first season was on the Duggar family.
Yeah.
And the second season that they just came out with a few days ago is on Teen Mania.
I went to Acquire the Fire. Was that under
that umbrella? Yes, it was under the fire.
Yes, Acquire the Fire.
Yes, they talk about that. So Acquire the Fire was like the gateway drug to what then these Teen Mania ministries. It was in, and I've just seen the first episode, and the second episode is when we get into like all the dark stuff. But it was, you can really see in the first episode, you see how vulnerable these kids are and how what they're asking them to be very open and vulnerable. And it seems like that vulnerability was then preyed upon and taken advantage of.
We see this in Scientology a lot. Because, they do like the things where you basically have to bare your soul, but then they keep the file and then they use it as like leverage.
Yeah. So there's a lot. I think maybe people have seen so much risk in being vulnerable or that being taken advantage of, that this is a way to avoid rejection and like the weaponizing of their vulnerability or that being used against them in some way. Like I can understand why, but
I just don't. I can understand why you'd have the urge. I do not understand why you think this is the antidote. Like a company. How is that ever going to be the solution to the vulnerability?
Okay, well, I think what answers that question is capitalism and what we've been fed for years. That it feels like we are getting messages. We are bombarded with messages every single day. Yes, you have a problem. This thing you could buy can fix it. You whatever it is, there's a way to not feel like how you're feeling. Just pay $9.99 for
Right,
this.
like you're getting
Just
old,
sign
buy
up for
this
this.
cream.
Yes. Yes. You don't like how you look, use this. You don't like how you dress, use that. Whatever it is.
Yeah.
And some of those things are helpful, but some of those
Yeah.
things when we
I
then
love a cream.
right. When it becomes I need that in order to be okay, then it's a problem. We're just trying to fill a void. And we need more human connection. And I don't think we get a lot of messages about
This is pretty much all Sarah and I talk about.
all we
Probably
talk
because
about.
it's where our passions intersect
Yes.
most heavily because of therapy on your end and just sort of like, I don't know, obsession with people on my end. And that's why the live events that we are working on are so important to us.
Yes.
Because it does
Yes.
feel like in the age of AI that the only thing we have now is like, let's get together in real life and
Yeah.
let's hug it out.
And I want that person to person connection. I want
That's all I want.
the mistakes and the I don't know, even
You
in
were
even
in the real world, for God's sake. That's
right.
the whole point.
It's the whole point. Exactly. I want the mess ups and the stutters and the times when you like say the wrong thing, just the real human moments, because I feel like a lot of those are getting I don't know, it's not what we're seeing, and it's becoming harder and harder to differentiate between what is real and what is fake. I just saw that Vogue magazine has just used its first ever AI generated model for the pages of Vogue.
In an advertisement.
In an ad. I think it was Guess or something like that. Yeah, Guess. And that now changes things. It's setting like this new precedent of like what's allowed and these, and I don't know, maybe do I sound like an old person saying that? What do young kids say?
They agree with you. The young kids are fucking had it.
Okay. This was the little anecdote that I said, I would like to tie. I have, stuff to talk about that is tie-in. When I was at camp, I had a lot of conversations with young kids about stressors, about, their fears, about what was helping and hurting, and, some really good one-on-ones. When I tell you, every single child that I spoke to, that I had like a one-on-one chat with, every single one of them said they don't like social media.
Mm-hmm.
Every one of them said that they are so happy to be at camp because they don't have their phones. But they also don't know how to exist in that regular world that's not camp without it.
Mm-hmm.
It is really hard to find that balance.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what the answer is, because so much of how we move through this world and what's required from us requires us to use these tools, but it's also the thing that's really hurting kids and damaging kids and exposing them to things that are way beyond their years. And I feel like I sound like an old person.
No, you're reminding me though. I had in my Uber on the way to the Diana Ross concert, I was talking to my driver who was a youth pastor at a local LA church. And he, I fucking live for religious conversations,
Right.
especially when they don't know anything about me.
Right. Interesting.
And so he was talking about something that I think maybe overlaps with camp too, which is, I think these kids are desperate for just like fucking real life and not all this noise and constant. They're being bombarded with advertisements. We were too on TV. Right. There's more of a confusion when it's on your phone.
Mm-hmm.
But what is a bit of a problem though is that camp life, even apart from the social media stuff, is similar to like a church camp or church revival scenario where like then you're on fire for God, right?
Yeah.
You're feeling it, and it's the worship and the fucking thing, and your heart is open and you're
Yep.
blissful and hopeful. And then you go back home
Yep.
and it sucks.
It's kind of like
And-
that your body gets acclimated in 3 days, the same as the
Yeah, and you're like,
being
wait,
at altitude. Yeah.
right? And so part of the problem is that these environments aren't real either.
Right. Absolutely. I totally agree that
Okay.
we can create that, but it is how do you duplicate that?
You can't
You can't.
duplicate
You
it.
can't because of what's required to even create that.
Yes,
Isolation.
because it's false. Yes.
Everybody's volunteering there. Everybody.
It's a benevolent cult.
It totally is. And
Yeah.
that was, and we always joke about that. We're like,
my
oh,
God,
isn't it
Sarah
great to be
did
in a
join a
cult
cult.
that where you don't have to pay any money and nobody is making you have sex with anybody? Like, it's like great. It's like a benevolent cult. But I
It is.
totally understand that because as I was
that's
watching the documentary, I was like, man, it looks so
Yeah.
familiar. It's so,
That's probably why we're friends, really.
and right. Cause it's so good. Like at its core is so good and noble and
Yeah, both scenarios
Right.
desperately want you to know you matter.
yes,
You're valuable
Yes.
as you are.
You're not alone.
You needn't do anything to
yeah,
add to your value because you're perfect as you are. In my case, it's because Jesus died for me. And in your case, it's just because like God created nature exists and it's perfect as it is, right?
yeah, yeah. We don't even have any. We've removed all the religion. There's
yeah,
not
so I
even
changed it to
anything
nature.
to mention. Like we even have like the rags that we use. It used to be the YMCA symbol, and we've removed the cross from the center. So now it's just a circle, a square, and a triangle as the symbol because we're getting rid of all.
Things are perfect as they are.
Yeah.
And that's just how it's supposed to be.
Yes.
But we have to earn money
Right.
to eat.
Not only just that, but the energy that all of the volunteers, and we are all volunteering there, are putting into creating this is not
Sarah's told me that,
sustainable.
like 15 times, and every time I'm like, but how much did you get though?
I'm like $0 US dollars. Nobody there is made. In fact, some of us paid to go.
I know
So-
I've asked you that like many times.
I know people can't believe it because other camps do pay people, but we are all volunteers,
Okay.
and it is impossible to show up in the way that all of those volunteers show up for a week forever. You couldn't do that. You couldn't.
Nope.
I mean, we are all exhausted after a
Yeah.
week. Like need days to recover. Like we have just given every single thing we have to creating this, and you couldn't. That's not sustainable for a person.
Not real.
It's not real. So you're totally right. It's like, how do we want to give these kids like this break and want to provide this.
I mean, we learned so much about this in religious studies, which is like the divide between the sacred and profane. And camp can be put into that sacred category
Mm-hmm.
because it's not soiled by like the reality of life.
Totally.
That you have to do certain things you don't want to do that are, just to survive. Like you're not having to hunt for food and stuff.
Right. You're not in survival mode. All your needs are getting met. Like there's a chance for that deeper like self-exploration to happen. And in order for that to, you know what? It's Maslow's hierarchy of needs being totally fulfilled so that you're able to focus on
the
that
top
top
piece.
And for that to happen, that actually doesn't happen for a lot of those kids who go home. That's not provided. Some of them don't. Where am I? Who's making me lunch? Where, am I safe and am I loved in my home? There's a lot of kids who go home and don't have those needs met that are, further down in that pyramid. So yeah, that's what that is that all of those needs underneath are being met. So then you can focus on maybe a little bit more of that self-reflection, introspection, self-growth, all that. And it's
And so
hard
I
to
do
sustain that forever.
it's impossible, and
Impossible.
it's like a feeling
Interesting.
of maybe if these camps, religious or secular,
Mm-hmm.
just sort of acknowledge that more, then maybe that expectation problem would be solved when people go home, and it
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't be so sad and such a letdown.
Yeah.
Because I do think there is that.
Oh, I
where you're
see
like,
it. I see it on the
"Ugh."
last night where everybody's like, I don't want to go home. I don't want. There's like this
And I
resistance
don't
to
know,
going back
maybe
to
there
reality.
should be like a more of a call to action. Like now, like your meter of joy might go down a bit,
Yeah.
but it could be raised if you spread.
Well, you know what? That's kind of
That
what
kind
I
of
think
deal.
our RAG program and reminder program does, is that you set these goals, and like my purple goal, or the purple, they have different, everyone is a different theme or category, I guess.
Mhm.
And purple is live a noble life. And so you set goals. You talk about like what this means to you and how you're going to apply that to your life. And you have like a little rag counseling session with somebody there. And mine was my friend Jessie. Shout out to Jessie.
Yeah.
And we talk about that and what that means. And for me, that meant taking care of myself so that I could help others. So like that whole saying of you can't pour from an empty cup. So
Yeah.
my like living a noble life was doing the things for me that helped me be the best provider I could be, the best therapist I could be, the best friend I could be, getting good sleep, eating, like those kind of basic self-care needs. That was like my version of living that. So we hope that that is what people can then use to help them connect to those feelings of camp outside of camp in a way that's more applicable to your regular life. And you just, and it's understood that that's not something that's possible to do all the time, that this is just a goal and we call it like the reminder program. Like it's like a reminder of how you'd like to be living and what you'd like to be doing.
Yeah. And in the religious community, I mean, there's a reason why it's called Acquire the Fire. Fire spreads, right? So their whole idea is that you're going to take your flame
Yes.
and light the world on fire for God, right?
That is what they were saying.
Did they?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And to see these kids at such a they become passionate about, I mean, whatever they are taught. And when you put kids in those moments of vulnerable, or force that vulnerability, they're so open and they're so
I want you to go ahead and imagine what I was like
I can't even
at these fucking things.
I mean, I just imagine hands in the air, knees on the ground, like feeling the love of God, like, And it's funny because, like, I went to all these church camps. Like, I went to my camp that I went to, and then I went to other church camps, like Yosemite Sierra Christian Camp. I went to that.
Yosemite Sierra.
Yep.
That sounds like
YSCC.
if we had a daughter, it would be like that. We'd call her Yosemite Sierra. And she would be like nature but Christian.
Ooh, the love of God came a tumbling down. The reason I know that he's in my soul is I dug down deep and I found pure gold. And he's all, King Jesus, all my all and all. Did you ever see that?
Wow, that is a West Coast vibe.
Oh, yeah.
No, we didn't have that one. I wish. Ours were a little more serious and earnest.
Oh, no, ours were fun.
I actually, these are the times when I'm very thankful for my dad, because my dad was not a believer and he was not secular and he was extremely irreverent. And if he had been the equivalent of my mom, I would have been fucked.
You would have been in deep.
Yeah, and I would have been hands up, knees down. I wasn't. I was just...
Oh, really? You were just kind of observing?
I was just... No, I liked the music and I liked like the fun. I was just like, I would have crushed it at camp.
Oh, crushed
Regular
it.
Camp.
The Venn diagram of like people who have a lot of fun, would enjoy church and enjoy summer camp is pretty.
Look, I love Jesus and I was sincere and I was devout, but I wasn't interested in looking like that.
Right.
I thought that was like kind of cringy.
Yeah. I think the difference for me is that at camp, at least at our camp, that connection to nature and the answers and what is best for you
That's
comes
nice.
from within, comes from you,
Wow,
not
that
a
sounds
message that's
nice.
passed down and not this like doctrine, not like,
External
yeah, and it's
validation.
definitely not a gendered like, you know, omnipotent like man in the sky who's you have to bow down to and surrender your life. Like that's not what's at the center of it. So it feels a little
That's
more
nice,
like
Sarah.
what matters to you? What, you know, and I liked that. There's a little more like what's the word that starts with a like autonomy and like self, you know, self-centered, but in the positive way. I don't know. What are you thinking? What?
I want to know what the word is you're looking for.
Yeah. What is the word? Human-centric? I can't think of like what. There's some word for what that is. That it's kind of a combination of all those. But yeah, I'm gonna watch the last part of that documentary because it's getting to the part where
How many episodes is it?
It's just 2, I believe. Teen Mania Ministry. Oh, unless the third one hasn't come out yet. It might be one of those where they're releasing a new one every week. But the Teen Mania Ministries was an actual location in Texas where they took people, and it of course turned. Yeah, agency. I think agency is probably the right word.
All right, that was killing
Yeah.
me. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. But this was like an actual place that they took people to where then it was like corporal punishment and that kind of stuff where now you're.
Did your parents spank?
Yeah.
Did they?
We had the old spanking spoon.
The spoon.
The spoon. And it was more of a threat than it was an actual. I mean, there were times where there was some follow through, but I think it was more of the threat, at least for me. I never really needed it because I was just threatened by it. And I can remember there's this one story that we always laugh about in our family where my mom was shopping with the 3 of us kids at it was around Christmas time, and I think she was at Macy's or something. And she's got, I must have been about maybe, I don't know, 9, then one brother is 7, the other one's like 4, whatever. It's very like, Lucas is young. And we're walking through Macy's and it's very busy and she's in line. I can remember it to this day. And my brother goes, "Look, Mom, spanking spoons," in front of everyone in line. My mom was like, "Shh, shh, keep walking. Nothing to see here."
Oh, my God.
And he called him out in the middle of the line.
Wow. So she was the administrator of the punishment.
Yeah. It was it was more threatening than it was.
How frequently would you say? Maybe once, twice, 3 times,
Me?
lady?
I think
In
so.
your
My mom was
lifetime.
really good at figuring out what worked for each child. That my brother
that's
Jordan
true.
needed a little more of that. Like didn't
He
get
needed
it.
a heavy hand.
He needed a heavy hand. I was given homework and writing as punishment. So when my mom when I was in trouble, I would have to write a paper about like what I did that was wrong,
Yeah,
or
I've seen
if
that.
I had to like write out. She would give me like a sentence to write. I will not talk back. Back talk. I was such a big back talk.
Oh,
That was the
back
thing.
talk.
I will not talk back to my mother 100 times on a piece of paper. And then I would do that thing where I'm like, which is faster? Writing I will,
Yeah.
not, you know. And then you could see like the lines, just the sentence doesn't look like a normal sentence. It's just like all lined up with the word above it. I wish I would have saved some of those because that would have been a really funny thing to have framed in like in my house as an adult. Like
Totally.
the punishment papers.
I had a friend who got caught reading Babysitter's Club, which was verboten in the evangelical community.
Oh.
And she had to write an essay outlining every sin that anybody committed in the book.
Oh my God. And it's so funny because that was an example of like, those are the good girls in the babysitting club.
Well,
Like,
because there was always probably a good message, but they,
yeah,
they're humans.
they
Sarah.
did sneak out. They did do,
They
like,
lied.
yes. There was some like,
Jealousy, gossip,
uh-huh. Oh, a lot of that. I
envy.
freaking loved the Babysitters Club. I
Everybody
grew up
did.
on that
I don't
shit.
know what it's like. I couldn't read it.
Maybe we should read one for our book club
Oh
just so
my
you can
God, we
see.
should. It would be so funny.
People would love that, actually.
Yeah, let's
If
do
we
it.
read an
We
episode
could
of
at
like
minimum
the
do a
Babysitters.
bonus
Yeah.
meeting.
Yes.
Like a half hour. We're just like, let's.
Yes.
talk.
And the real one, the one where it's like, do you remember Sweet Valley High?
That's what it was.
Yes.
That's what it was. Sweet Valley High.
They
Those
were
hookers
they were some
fucking-
hookers. Oh. Yeah.
They were hot
Sweet
stuff.
Valley High. And I'm like, oh, these are the cool girls.
I mean, they were so cute.
so cute.
Yeah, but they were not moral
Well, by your standards.
or any.
Okay.
They were fucking
Fucking.
ruthless. Did they fuck?
I mean, I think there was heavy petting. Or maybe it was implied. There was definitely
That's
one
a
sluttier
big
sister.
difference. Heavy petting is not
Right?
the
There was like a
same.
good girl, bad girl, because they were like twins, and there was that whole like. Then they turned it into a TV show. I was super
in
into
the
that.
evangelical community. There was like the equivalent. The Christy Miller series
Oh, okay.
was like supposed to be the Sweet Valley High.
For
scenario.
you.
Yeah, like and
Yes.
it was like she was dating,
Okay. Wow.
but saving herself for marriage.
Like they do.
Anyway, I don't even know how we got down this rabbit hole, but I'm just what's the name of it?
The Teen Mania Ministries.
What's the name of the series?
The
though?
series is called Shiny Happy People.
Yep, that's it.
And
I'm gonna watch it.
then
tonight.
the subtitle or whatever is Teen Mania International.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it is crazy how like it felt like everybody, or at least everybody I knew, in that like a lot of millennials dabbled in evangelical Christianity.
Well, we were everywhere. That
It
was
w-
we were crushing it in the 90s.
You really were, because I
Yeah.
almost was
Yeah, you thought he died for your sins.
yes, I was going to Christian camps. I was going to I went and built houses in Mexico. I was going on the mission
Yeah.
trips, I
Yeah.
was then coming home and condemning my mother for having alcohol. Like,
Period.
well, that
Any?
my mom always jokes that the DARE program was her least favorite part of elementary school. That we would come home and be like, "Mom, you should not drink. You're going to hell if you have like all that." Just
Yes, moralism.
yes, I remember I would have this recurring nightmare where all my aunt would be standing on a literal pedestal, and she would light up a cigarette and look at me and say, "I'm sorry, Sarah," and it would be like, everybody's gone. I've
Why
lost
would
them
she
all.
be on a pedestal? Number one.
I think in my head it was like like all the adults in my life were on these pedestals, like actual pedestals, and
But
it was
not
like one by
actual.
one. But in my dream,
Metaphorical. Oh,
it was a dream. I had a recurring
okay.
dream.
I'm sorry.
That,
Yeah,
yes,
I missed that part.
it was a
Got
recurring
it.
dream that I had where I would like look out and see this like ocean of people standing on these pedestals. They'd all be like the important figures in my life, and one by one they would light up a cigarette, and it would be like I've
Jesus,
lost
your
them to the
dreams
other
are
side.
intense.
Yeah, I can remember. It was like an ocean too. It was this like a shallow ocean that you could like wade in, kind of like got to be some like Jesus walking on water, some bullshit
Yeah.
like with that I was putting together in my mind. And I would just picture one by one all the people that were like the big important, these like role models, and they'd look at me and say, "I'm so sorry, Sarah," and then light up a cigarette. And I'd be like, "I've lost them." And
That's crazy.
it was a
actually.
reoccurring dream. Yeah. So what's that about?
I don't know, but the rest of us aren't dreaming shit like that.
I know. I was really just like, we have to be moral, and we have to do the right thing. And
you tried.
I did try, but. Well, I'll save my other stories for another episode. Ooh, because I do have, that'll get us into a whole other conversation about women in media, and it's a whole thing. So I'll just leave you on a cliffhanger with that, I guess.
You crushed it. Very fascinating. I am glad you're back from camp, and I'm glad that you do the work that you do
Thank
at
you,
camp.
Sus.
I do think it's important. It is. It's just not real life.
Right.
And that is
And
fine.
we know that.
Yeah.
You know, we know that we are giving these kids an opportunity to have that escape and have that break and want to do so much to create that, special. Just, I'm telling you, there is something so, like, I don't know, reassuring, or it feels good. It's comforting when you look out at an ocean of 150 kids and there is not a cell phone in sight. They will start playing with each other. They are playing games. They are singing songs. They're having fun. Kids will occupy themselves, and they are good at finding fun things to do. And to get to watch what kids come up with after 7 days of having no phone is really fun. And it gives me a little bit of hope that at their default, this is what people want to do. This is how people want to connect. We just have to, and I even liked, all of us counselors loved that too. We're like, oh, it feels so good to not be scrolling for a bit. So,
But it's like not real, not sustainable, but it's a nice break.
And maybe there are ways to incorporate that into our life, like you're going to go on maybe a family camping trip or a road trip or something, and just decide, okay, nobody's going to take their camera. We're going to buy one of those disposable cameras, because kids had those at camp. So to see kids get out their disposable cameras to take pictures, so fun.
Yeah.
And do that, because I promise you will love what comes out of it. There's going to be a little bit of complaining in the beginning, but once they accept the fact that there's nothing they could do about the situation and this is just how it is, watch what creative things they come up with to pass the time.
I do actually wish, though, that they had a way to digitally record the week.
Well, I'm glad you said that, because shout out to my friend Aggie, who created our first camp newspaper, where the kids were able to write their own articles, and some have submitted comics and things like that. And she turned it into a newspaper that created this like digital and physical, like history of the week, or like this little time capsule that have a lot of the funny like inside jokes. And we have an amazing media team that took over, I think it was like over 10,000 photos during the week. And then we have a really great social media, and all the parents were able to watch. And then we turn it into a camp slideshow and a camp video that the parents get, that you can even go on YouTube and look at our camp video. And it looks like a camp from a movie. It is so fun.
Okay.
And so there is this like time capsule and this digital memory that's created, and we have so many photos. Everything's captured, all the cabins, all the activities they do. So all of that's done for them. It's kind of like when you hire a photographer for your wedding, and they're like, don't let people take pictures because we got it. Just have fun and enjoy. So the kids get to do that, and the parents all get the photos and everything when they leave.
Good work, Sarah.
Thanks, Suze. We'll see you next time on the Brain Candy Podcast. Make sure to leave us a 5-star review, would ya?
Yeah, would ya? And go to thebraincandypodcast.com. If you forget any of our codes, they're all there in our candy codes section. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
In the time it takes you to actually board a flight from Group 8,
Now boarding Premier Altitude Elite Club members.
you could have bought a Hyundai on Amazon. Visit HyundaiUSA.com or call 562-314-4603 for more details. Limited availability, pick up through participating Hyundai dealer in select markets.